Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining. Apologies for it taking a little bit. I was thinking I was going to allow for Barron's audience to jump in, but of course we've got, they're running a little bit longer, so it is what it is. I hope that they will join in after the fact, and we can visit. There's been a lot going on. And I want to address every single thing that's come up. I believe that there has been a deliberate and targeted attack against myself. It's just flat out defamation, slander, libel. I mean, everything that that you can come up adjective wise, that's what's being levied against me. I'm a normal person. Okay. And what I plan on showing, and I was thinking that this is going to go into just one episode. No, it's not. This is going to be because there's something very nefarious here, and it needs to be very slowly and deliberately laid out to illustrate back to September the 12th, 13th, 14th, just what was going on with a few of these creators that were being given video. Okay. I'm going to hit on the high points tonight, and then I'm going to bring in some other people throughout the week, and we're going to basically expose the lies, expose really and truly what's going on. And I believe by the time we finish this little journey, number one, it's not going to take long, because I will not sit around and devote a lot of time to Jason Goodman. Like the dude, he hasn't gotten any of my attention beforehand. He's come out, him and another creator, they have gone in and found pictures on some website that they're claiming to have been mugshots. Look, I do have a mugshot. I do. We'll get into all of that. Okay. But 17 mugshots? No, that's BS. Okay. That's why there will be legal action rolling to a few people. It's happening. So I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but there will be legal action, because these people that live up in the Northeast of our country that might live in blue states, they might see someone with a rap sheet long and say that Jason said he quoted, I'm a serial burglar. I got news for you. That prison sentence down here in the state of Texas, you're looking, if you've got like multiple, you're looking at probably life. We don't play around with that stuff like you people in New York and you people in Michigan, wherever you are up north in your little blue state. We don't put up with that down here. You get one shot. And yes, I was a knucklehead in my 20s, and there was an incident involving a fraternity house, and it's done. Okay. We'll address it. And I look forward to everything that's going to come out. Look, there has to be legal action. This is unacceptable to go in to a website and some third party mugshot thing and put up AI images. I have spent last week going through at the courthouse trying to find where these photos came from. They don't know. They're like, take it up with the website. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so this is where we are now. we are right here attacking just normal people. And I'm going to play this here that Barron played earlier on his show. And I believe, well, let me play it first.
I'm a sponsor. Thank you for being a member there, Mystic. I enjoyed that interview. I feel like I got out the two things I wanted to get out of it. One is I wanted to identify the actual root cause of the dispute between Jason Goodman and Blake Bednarz, and I feel like I got to that. The moment of the dispute was about, I didn't know this, now I know, about the frames per second in a video that was being shared. Who knew? So now I know that. So I feel like I got that question answered. So if for nothing else, that was satisfactory. The second thing I wanted to get out of him was, and for those that didn't catch the members show, it was wild. The second thing I wanted to get out of him was he's been involved in a lot of these decentralized investigations, and he's been approached with a lot of misinformation and misinformation agents. And I wanted to ask him, how do you recognize these people? But I had to step him through a series of things. I thought that would take about 10 or 15 minutes. Took an hour and a half, but that happens sometimes. Because I wanted to.
Okay. I want you all that have been paying attention to this to ask yourself if the obsession that you have seen from Jason Goodman warrants the obsession with me over a couple of frames, a frame rate. I attached to this video on YouTube links to my page, Jason Goodman's page, Zeb, and Barron. Primarily on the two top, I want at some point, and I will put this on Twitter. It looks like my Twitter is not connected for some reason. I want everyone that's watching this to go and look after we're done here at Jason Goodman's page. When you get onto his page on Twitter, go to the little magnifying glass and type in my handle. And I want you to scroll. You're going to scroll for a while because the dude is obsessed. Scroll. And I want you to just look and see exactly what I have been having to deal with over some frames. And I want you to ask yourself, does that make sense? Then I'd like for you to get on my page and do the exact same thing and scroll. And then I want you to ask yourself, does this make sense? Okay. We're going to just jump right in. The only way really to do this is I'm just going to play the part and address it where Jason and Barron are talking about me. Okay. And it starts 134.
Use a larger account to get notoriety to their annoyance or whatever it is that they're doing. But when somebody has appeared with me on a debate and we're now continuing that debate, particularly in public, and he blocks me and lies about it, I found that very objectionable. And, something else that Chris Martenson demanded was that I give Blake Bednarz this evidence bounty that I was running because, according to him, Blake had disproven what I was saying. Because I had initially said I arrived at the speed of this projectile being 500 feet per second because I thought it was shot with an iPhone, and the iPhone is capable of recording 240 frames per second. It operates at 240 hertz, 240 cycles per second. And that can either be utilized in a slow motion video capture to record 240 frames per second, or in a variety of different ways. When I ran that evidence bounty, it resulted in, we got this video, which was purportedly shot by a guy named Samir Masi. And this is the video that shows what I believe is the projectile hitting Charlie in the back of the head. And in the course of what I think is a social engineering campaign intended to smear me, that Chris Martenson said, this disproves your theory, Jason. Somehow through Blake and his friends, we got an original 30 frame per second recording from an iPhone, but it was recorded in Dolby Vision HDR, which is a high dynamic range format. And when you go to the Dolby patent and the Apple technical documentation on how this system works, it's using multiple exposures per frame to make a high dynamic range image. And since we know that the iPhone operates at 240 frames per second, and they don't tell us exactly how the iPhone implements this format, we can presume from the facts that we know that 240 frames per second is a mode that this could operate in. And these dots that I see are virtually white against a virtually black background. This is exactly the type of detail that a high dynamic range process would preserve. And the fact that they appear virtually equidistant is how I arrive at this 500 feet per second recorded at 240 frames per second. And they're not bugs. There is no other phenomenon in this 11-minute video that matches what I see there in terms of the trajectory towards Charlie, the instant he's hit, and there's a lot of compelling evidence about it. So
can I pause you there? Is it possible, and I don't know this because I haven't asked Blake, I know he's in the comments, but is it possible the video he received was already coded the way it was? And that
let's talk about what's possible, because Blake should confront me directly on this. He produced this video that he now, just yesterday or 2 days ago, he claims that I'm lying. So that's a very direct and defamatory claim as far as I see it. This is a video that Blake presented on a Diligent Denizen Video X space. And Diligent Denizen, when he showed it, he revealed the URL of that video, which Blake had as an unlisted video on his YouTube channel. So I downloaded it and I analyzed it. And it was a 30 frame per second video that had been frame doubled to 60 frames per second and up-resed to 4K. And that can be easily determined by stepping one frame at a time through the video. And you can see that each frame is repeated once. There's no motion in the 60 frames. It's only 30 frames of motion.
But I'm asking, is it possible that Blake received the video that way and that he didn't do any of the manipulation? And
I do not believe so. It's possible, but he hasn't come out and said, oh, you know, Jason has this video and I was mistaken. I got it this way and it was actually something else. He's coming out and saying that I didn't even get this video from him because he didn't start posting videos on YouTube until December. He has also
that video that I got, that exact same video. I have that same video that I got on
not 4K and 60 frames per second, and you didn't present it as new evidence at 4K and 60 frames per second.
I got it on.
Okay. I am going to show the video that we are all talking about that is the supposed basis of this tremendous hatred. Okay. And we're going to kind of go back and forth, but I want to get out the gist of this, because what we're going to do is we're going to listen to what they have to say. And then I am going to go back and show every single person exactly what happened. And by the time we're finished here, you'll have absolutely no question. Okay. So that is the game plan here. Right now, this video took place yesterday, Saturday, January. This was, I think it was on Friday, actually. And so it's the context of, we're talking about it at the end of January. This is stuff that has been festering inside of Jason Goodman since October, even September. Okay. But the picture that he just showed is October the 8th. So we're going to remember October the 8th.
September 16th, because I dated it.
Why don't we host a debate with Blake?
I'm going to back it up.
possible, but he hasn't come out and said, oh, Jason has this video and I was mistaken. I got it this way and it was actually something else. He's coming out and saying that I didn't even get this video from him because he didn't start posting videos on YouTube until December. He has also
that video that I got, that exact same video. I have that same video that I got on
not 4K and 60 frames per second, and you didn't present it as new evidence at 4K and 60 frames per second.
I got it on September 16th because I dated
Why
it.
don't we
September
host a
16th
debate?
is when Baron got it.
You and I and Blake, you can moderate. We'll do it on your show.
I don't want to do it on mine. I'll host it on your
I
channel.
can ask and answer any of these questions.
So
and Blake
answer me,
can
how
answer
do I look at what I have to determine what frame rate it has and what
the first thing to do, are you on a Mac or a Windows
Mac.
PC? Okay, so the first thing
I'm
to
on
do
a
is
Mac.
you
It's a
open
downloaded
it.
file.
You open it in QuickTime Player, and you hit Command I to get information about it. And there's a little drop down that says Video Details, and that'll tell you the frame rate. And if it says 30 frames per second, when you step through it with the arrow keys, you'll notice each frame there's a little bit of movement.
It says
60
FPS 20, aspect ratio 16:9.
So if you have the 20 frame per second version, I mean, again, there's a lot of string. So this goes back to your initial question. How do we know when someone is being perhaps less than honest? Well, we have this 20 frame per second video that came to me from Zeb Boykin. And
That got it from me. Sent it to him.
you sent it to him.
Yeah,
Where did you get it from?
I got it from, I don't know. It was floating around in the internet somewhere. I have no idea where I grabbed this.
Why did Zeb Boykin not remember that? Because he couldn't remember for the life of
Because
him.
he was probably protecting a source. He got it. I sent it to a friend of mine, and my friend said, "Where did you get this?" And I can't remember where I got it. And I said, "I came across it. I downloaded it as soon as I got it."
Let me explain the importance of that video.
Oh, hold on. And then so my friend said, "Do you mind if I send it to Zeb? Zeb's doing good work on this." And I said, "Sure. Who's Zeb?" And he told me, and I said, "I don't care if you send it to him." So he sent it to him, and then my friend texted me the next day and said, "Tune into Zeb. He's covering that video." So I tuned in, and Zeb was saying, "Wow, this is the highest quality video we've seen yet." But I've never looked at the guts of it. But yeah, it's encoded 20 FPS.
Okay, I have that 20 frame per second version as well. And the thing that's so strange about that is 20 frames per second is not a frame rate that the iPhone will shoot at. Not unless you have a very specialized professional video application like Filmic Pro or
We know it was an iPhone.
because I now have the original file.
Okay, so you're confident it was an iPhone.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't know where the 20 came from.
It
Somebody
was an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Not only do we not know where it came from, if you use Adobe Premiere, Adobe Media Encoder, Adobe After Effects, it will not put out an H.264 video at 20 frames per second. You need to use the only tool that I could find, and I didn't try DaVinci Resolve, but the only tool that I could find that would create a 20 frame per second video in the high 10 HDR profile, which that video is, was FFmpeg. And you have to be a very sophisticated user to even understand how to create that file.
So none of us understood what that meant. What is the implication of what you just?
Pay attention to what Jason just said, because I believe that is probably what happened back in September. And it's just a little ironic that he actually knows. And to be quite frank, the only person that's sophisticated enough to go, if you're able to spin this bullshit that he's able to spin and talk about the sophistication of all this mumbo jumbo, like he's describing exactly what happened to the video. But we'll get into that in a second. Stay watching.
A sophisticated user created that video for some unknown reason in a very non-standard format. My speculation would be that the reason is to obscure information that's there, deceive people about the original file, and that it is a very important video.
That's a little weird to say, because he's actually describing exactly what I'm about to show you.
The other
So
thing
part
that's
of-
strange.
part of the limited hangout potentially.
Yes.
To
The
put
other thing
out,
that's
to put this out, let me just step you through this. I hate to go lawyer mode and cross-examine,
fine.
but
I like it.
I know where I'm wanting to go with this. So this video, I come across it. I don't remember if I got it on Twitter or if I got it on, I think I was on the Chans very early on, to be honest with you. May have come from there. It may have come from, I know no one emailed it to me. I found it somewhere. I immediately downloaded it because I thought, wow, this is a very high quality image. This was only 6 days after the assassination. And so I downloaded it and it's been sitting on my desktop of all places for the last 4 months. It's just sitting in the upper right-hand corner of my desktop because there's so much I see in this video that I think is important to cover. But so your suggestion is potentially in line with what we've been talking about. Your suggestion is somebody may have viewed the original and said, oh no, there's stuff in here we don't want to get out. Therefore, we will, in a very sophisticated fashion, alter the video and then release that so that because then it will confuse people in a limited hangout fashion. They'll think there's this high quality original recording.
Right.
They'll draw all their conclusions from this high quality original recording, what they think is an original recording. And then if the original recording ever comes out, they won't actually go look at it because they'll think they've already seen it.
No, look, I can't speak to the motivation and all those details. All I'm saying is it was modified and it was done in a very sophisticated way. And it was presented to the public as, oh, wow, look at this is the highest quality video.
Okay, so right now, all of this crazy shit that Jason is saying has absolutely nothing to do with me, okay? Because I had no idea that this video even existed back in September. We'll just go with the 17th, okay? Whenever Jason and Zeb and that gang of individuals got a hold of it, okay? So everything that Jason is talking about right now has absolutely nothing to do with me, okay? About all of this frame reduction and trying to encode and export and land the lunar module on the, like, literally has nothing to do with me. I don't know why it's even in the same breath, other than this dude can absolutely start one thought, and by the time he gets to where he's trying to get, you're way the hell across town, okay? So this has nothing to do with me.
We've seen yet. At 20 frames per second, it is missing one of the 3 frames that show the line of this projectile coming to the back of Charlie's head. Now, when I started talking about how strange it is that it's 20 frames per second, then Zeb came up with a 30 frame per second version of it. And I said, well, wait a minute, where did you get this? Because this has the 3rd image of the projectile in it. And that's where I started to form the hypothesis that this must have come from a higher frame rate video, something whose original frame rate is evenly divisible by both 20 and 30, because there were unique frames in the 30 frame per second video. It wasn't just derived from a 20 frame per second original and an iPhone and an Android phone. You're not going to find any digital camera that can natively shoot in 20 frames per second. It's just an incredibly unusual, non-standard frame rate. And my experience and expertise tells me that. And since this whole anomaly came up, I went looking for a camera that could do it, and there is none. So the point is, it obscures an important piece of information in that. And, through my whole journey with the evidence bounty and all that, we got to the original Dolby Vision HDR video with metadata that told us it was shot on an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Everything about it conforms to a native, the frame rate, the data rate, the HDR, Dolby format, all conform to what the iPhone can do. In the 11-minute video, this guy, can you see in this image? This guy is the guy who shot the video. I don't know who this is, but then Samir Masi claims that he shot the video. However, that seems to be a false claim as well, because Samir Masi was inside at the time of the shooting, and he has his own separate video on Facebook where he's like, what's going on? And somebody says, someone's been shot. And Samir Masi says, somebody's been shot? And he's shocked. So why?
That video has absolutely zero link with Samir Mazi. Okay. Zero. Okay. He is simply freestyling that fact. And it's all an attempt because he's already tried to, in his past videos, Jason, contact this student, I guess, and absolutely harassed the living shit out of him. Okay. You can go and see, because Jason loves to put these videos because it's blood sport to him on his page. So you can go and watch the video, but this video, this 2-minute and 41-second video has absolutely nothing to do with Samir Mazi. Okay.
If he just photographed Charlie Kirk getting shot, why would he be shocked to hear that Charlie Kirk had been shot? That doesn't make any sense. And
All right,
Samir
so-
Mazi.
All right, I don't want to get too into the weeds on who all these people are, because I've never even heard these names. But I want to back up and give everyone the most favorable reading I can. So my reading is that I don't believe Blake was trying to pawn off an edited video as an original. My guess would be, and I've not asked Blake because I've not fully understood your beef with Blake. I know I've only kind of from the
No one
watched
has.
you guys sniping back.
He's a
and forth at each other.
freak.
But my understanding is that, or my gut is that Blake probably received this video in that form, and then was saying, "Hey, I believe I have an original," and then did not maybe understand why that it was being challenged as an original when he received what he believed was an original. And so I've kind of attributed it as there's just a misunderstanding. Like,
But he's lied about me repeatedly.
well, and
He said that I gave out his phone number and told people to threaten his wife. I never did that. He said that I.
well, and again, I'm not going to
harassed
settle all
him.
that. I want to get back to the actual genesis of the debate and the
So
debate.
why is he lying about this? I said Blake presented this video as a 4K 60 frame per second video right at the time when he and his associate Tyler Young were very focused on disproving my claim that it was a 240 frame per second video. In that very same X space where Blake presented this video, Tyler Young, I came into the X space and said, okay, I started asking some technical questions about it. And Blake said, oh, I got to go. Tyler, you take over and talk all about it. And Tyler Young proceeded to try to claim the evidence bounty by saying, here, it's a 30 frame per second video, so give me the evidence. Give me the bounty. Give me the $4,000. And I said, well.
Okay. So just a few minutes ago, when Goodman was talking to Barron, Goodman admitted that he's got the original now sitting here at the end of January, and that the original is a 30 frame per second. Okay. It's shot on an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay. But back when what you're about to see, just keep this in mind. Okay. Because it is a whole nother story.
Okay, this is interesting because the metadata appears altered. It doesn't say that it's coming from an iPhone. It says it's coming from a Google Drive. I want to call you and verify this evidence. And he resisted that originally.
Yeah.
And then he eventually agreed to a phone call. And during that phone call, he just didn't want to answer any questions. He just demanded that the very production of this evidence mandated that I give him the evidence bounty. And I reminded him that he should read the terms and conditions, which I carefully wrote as a legal contract with the public for anybody who wants to enter into this opportunity. And one of the caveats was that I, in my sole discretion, determine if this evidence disproves the theory. And the reason I determined it did not is because it proved that it was an HDR video. So even though it wasn't a 240 frame per second video in the slow motion mode of the iPhone, it was a 240 hertz video that used 240 frames of information to create a high dynamic range 30 frame per second video.
Yeah.
That explains how we have the images of the 3 projectiles.
I'll let you guys deal with with that. I think again the issue to me is
we're nearly there, y'all. Just
only
hang tight. I
issue
promise it'll be
to
worth
me
it.
remains to be resolved is, did Blake inherit this video or did Blake alter the video? I
don't think there's any way that we can presume that he did, because if he did,
inherited
it seems to me.
Okay, so this is the one thing that's really disappointing with Barron, and if Barron were my lawyer, I would be very upset with Barron, because Barron is not asking the right question. Okay, so Blake has a 4K 60 frame video. What is altered? Let's do it together. What is altered, Barron? Like, is there a bullet or a projectile move? Like, did I make it go the wrong way? Did I stop this vibrating ring? Like, what is altered? That question was never asked. They are just simply alluding to the fact, because I have a 60 frame 4K video, that equates to being altered. That is bullshit. Okay? That's not true, y'all. Okay? But we'll get into more of it, because that's what never, ever was asked, is what is altered?
He altered it. It's clear to me that he altered it, because from the moment he has appeared, he has been focused on contradicting anything that I say.
Wrong.
The first time I became aware of Blake Bednarz was after I discovered this evidence that I believed was drones in the Adam Bartholomew footage. Blake said, oh, here's a video of a drone flying out of an air vent. And I just made a comment on his tweet, which I believe he had tagged George Webb in, which I found very suspicious. And I said, it's not a drone. And he was very Cullen-like, very insulting and rude, and said, oh man, you can't just say this, you got to come with evidence. And my evidence, I had plenty of evidence, but it's a tweet. It's, how much evidence am I going to present in a tweet? And he keeps coming back with false information, fabricated claims.
But again,
check our X pages, y'all.
On a different issue. I'm more focused.
Check our
on
X pages. He's full of it. He's a flat out liar.
Do not say this is a video that was presented to me and I don't know the source of it. Maybe Jason is right. He just keeps coming back with new lies, with new smear tactics, ganging up with Chris Martenson. And
it's really bizarre to me, because it's almost like I should be saying that to Barron about what Jason's done to me on my page. Like, we're talking tens or hundreds of tweets. Like, ask Grok. If you're sitting at home and you're watching this on TV, your Apple TV, go to your phone and look at the comparisons of tweets. I'll show you in a second if you're on your phone right now. And it's not even close. It's not even like, is this guy, like, what's wrong with this guy?
Gary Melton and all these people to spread provable lies about me when I'm just relying on facts and evidence. He's saying that I used AI to create images of his mugshot. That's not true at all. I got it from public records from Lubbock, Texas. So
again,
that is right there not true. That is not true. He got maybe one, but see, he's grouping in what his other friends that gave him. There's like 17 of them. He's talking about his one, not over here 17. Okay, that's what is messed up. And like, Barron, you're fired as my lawyer, man. Like, no, I'm kidding. He's like, literally. But do you see how he just kind of slides through there? Because he did go and get one. But I should be doing life in prison. I should be never getting out with all this other stuff that they manipulated.
Again, I don't hold something somebody did 10 or 15 years ago against them. I know some people do. And that's
not about
fine.
10 or 15 years ago, Barron. It's about a pattern of behavior
Right.
Serial fraudster behavior.
Serial fraudster. But look at what he is trying to manipulate the public to believe about me over some frames.
That continues to this day, where
But
he is lying to the public specifically about me.
Where? Y'all, this is flat out wrong. Like, where have I even, I don't wake up and think about him like he wakes up and thinks about me. I don't. I never, like, this is flat out bullshit.
And specifically about the source of this evidence.
Nobody
Let
should
him
be
come
lying.
onto a broadcast and tell
Nobody
us
should,
where
be
he got
lying
it.
about, nobody should be lying about anybody. So we can move on from Blake, because to me now I have a better understanding. I'm glad I had you on, because now I have a better understanding of why is the argument. And the argument is
He's persistently lying about me and falsifying evidence.
But that comes after the original debate. The original debate was, did he inherit this video in its form that was presented as an original?
There's no reason to presume that. He's the only one who has ever presented it in 4K and 60 frames per second, and he did it right at a moment that he and clearly his associate.
Okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Just so I know where to pick back up. 152:44. I'm going to play this again, and I want this to sear into your brain. 152:44.
Where he is lying to the public specifically about me and specifically about the source of this evidence. Let him come onto a broadcast and tell us where he got it.
Nobody should be lying about anybody. So we can move on from Blake, because to me now I have a better understanding. I'm glad I had you on, because now I have a better understanding of why is the argument. And the argument is
he's persistently lying about me and falsifying evidence.
But that comes after the original debate. The original debate was, did he inherit this video in its form that was presented as an original?
There's no reason to presume that. He's the only one who has ever presented it in 4K and 60 frames per second.
Okay, y'all ready? Here we go. He's the only one that's presented it in 4K at 60 frames a second. Not there. We're going to stop. I don't have producers like all of these people do, so y'all are just going to have to bear with me. This is just me running it. This is right here, 2 weeks to muddy the water. Alrighty. We are watching Zeb Boykin, who has been referenced throughout this video here. This is September 25th, 2025.
Y'all send in whatever questions y'all want to into regular chat. I'll try to favorite them as they come, and then we'll attack them as they get here. All right, so I want to look at this. I haven't looked at this yet. I just got this yesterday. This is a better resolution, supposedly. This is a 4K of that same. We're looking at this together, chat. This is us looking at it together. You know what? This needs to go on its own.
This is the video that is in question. This is the 2-minute and 41-second video that has Jason Goodman all just worked up, trying to absolutely dox and destroy me and my family. Okay.
Let me open it up another event.
Watch this.
Project 4K.
4K, 60 frames. Yes. Okay. Where did the 60 frame 4K video come from again, Jason? Your homeboy, Zeb Boykin. Oh, bogey.
All right, let me drop this in here.
Don't worry. I'll show it to y'all here in a second where I've screenshotted it.
All right,
you can go right now to this video on Zeb's page, 2 weeks to muddy the water. I'm going to have all of these videos underneath this video with links. And then we're going to continue, because this is the gift that's going to keep on giving throughout the week, to show exactly what these characters were doing from September the 12th all the way to October, when they've had this video the whole time. Okay? And you're going to be able to answer the question when you're asked, why did they never put this video out in its entirety like Blake did after October the 8th when I got it? Okay? You're going to be able to answer that question. I just showed you right now Zeb Boykin on his live stream upscaling it to 4K at 60 frames. Jason and Zeb have been together 3 times maybe. You want to watch it? Okay, let's watch it. We'll come back to this video at another day, because this is the video that Zeb begins to discredit. It's the day after I release the UVU review. And Zeb is immediately trying to discredit that video. We're going to be able to see why, okay? Why are these people so hell-bent on controlling video? Okay? That is the question, and what is their motivation behind it? Okay? So what Jason just said is a bald-faced lie. His homeboy, Zeb, just sat here on a live stream and upscaled it to 4K at 60 frames a second. Okay? Still, I don't know what he's necessarily saying that is manipulated on it, because all it does is add an extra frame in there. It does not do anything with like a nefarious thing with moving objects and playing with pixels. It just adds an extra frame in there, okay? But see, the way Jason has presented it to Baron is that because Blake has a 60 frame 4K video, that it's manipulated, okay? He never answers what is manipulated, because he can't answer it, okay? Because my video that I put out, look, if you've been following my work, you have known from the beginning that I always edit and slow down a video, okay? I will show you guys the exact process that I do when I'm editing and slowing down. When you go on and slow down a video by editing it, you're not doing anything that's nefarious. If that were true, every time there's a instant play or a challenge in the NFL, NBA, NCAA, where they go back and slow down a video, it would all be null. Like, we wouldn't have instant replay, because guess what? They would have people like Jason Goodman convincing the public that, oh, well, you know what? His foot really is not on the line. Like, because they slowed it down, they're manipulating the video. It's edited. Think about that, y'all. Think about what this clown is saying, that Blake manipulates video. Yes, I slow down the video. I don't manipulate a single thing. I might add some fingers because I want you to look right there. But am I going in and reducing frames like to 20? Y'all, I have done everything possible to just emphasize and show what's really going on. The thought has never entered into my mind to try and reduce frames like what he was describing happened back in September. Strangely enough, that he knows what happened. Okay? So that is the main point that I want everyone to know when it comes to me in this video. I'll show y'all exactly how I got the video, okay? But right now, Zeb showed us where the 4K 60 frame. I don't have anything to do with Zeb. I don't have anything to do with Jason. I don't have anything to do with any of those people that were running in that circle early on back in September and doing their little rounds. Owen Schroyer, all of that, okay? So right here, 2 weeks to muddy the water, We've got Zeb. See how down here in the bottom, they have all of these things run together, or Zeb has all of these videos strung together. Y'all, that in itself, he's not taking raw files and showing them to his audience. He already has these videos preloaded and stitched together. So when he says like he got a video from me, no, you don't. I've never given anything that has all of these different frames stitched together like he's got. Okay. That in itself, we don't know what Zeb has done to those videos. You have to, and it's unfair because what he does is he'll download a video from me, okay? And he'll be like, I got this from Blake. Then he'll snippet it. Then I don't know what happens to make it into this file or this program to where he then starts showing people. Okay, do y'all see the difference here? How they've got all of this stuff strung together? Like, that's not right. Okay, that's not just a raw file like what I pull up in my photo album. Okay, so I think I've hit the point home that number one, like Jason's full of it. Okay, this is his friend, his homeboy, and the question was, where did the 60 frame? Okay, number one, I didn't get it from Zeb. Okay, and number two, I have the original file. Okay, would y'all like to see it? Okay, so we'll go right here. Let's go back to this. Okay, I'm at 152. I want to make sure I wrote that down. 152.44. Stop, present. Okay. This is his entire, Jason's entire, this tweet right here. Y'all can all go look at it. Let me add this to the stage. There. This file here. Okay. Jason never shows a video. Okay. It's all just like Jason's thing is I'm just going to show a screenshot. I'm then going to write a caption, and then I'm just going to let your mind decide what you're seeing. That's his game plan, okay? And it's not just with this tweet. It's with the tweet, which is what happened with Chris Martenson on the debate with Owen Schroeder. We're about to get into it. But this here, where I don't even know what the hell he's trying to show here, but he's trying to say that this is my video. This is on October the 8th, just before midnight. And his whole thing is that I guess he's trying to show the track is off. I don't know. But he's got my name, 4K, YouTube. I don't know what the hell he's trying to say, other than the fact that he wants people to just read his words, look at his screenshot, and be like, oh, okay, Blake's manipulating evidence in the Charlie Kirk assassination. And what's crazy is there are people, well, they are slowly trimming down that actually believe anything he says, but there are people that believe this, okay? And I'm telling you right now, could not be further from the truth. Go right now, find a tweet that I've put out that has anything nefariously manipulated to show something that's not there, sound like something that's not there. Show me. I'm telling you right now, I would never, ever, ever do that shit. That is so freaking wrong. Okay. Right here for everyone to see, this is the actual screenshot of what Zeb was doing as he's upscaling his video on September the 25th. Okay, right here. He goes in, he changes it, he upscales it. Like I said, these guys have been together. Like, I don't know, but all Jason has to do is just make a tweet with a screenshot, change a file name, say it's Blake, And then he's got, how many people saw that? Well, only 27,000 there. It's bull. It's absolutely bull. So let's go in and look at what I do, my process. And this is the video here that, and I just screenshot with the app I use, okay? So I'll go in. Here is the video, okay? As you can see, Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I'll show you how it all came to be. It's very interesting, very, very, very telling with what has been going on in the early days with these characters. But right here is the metadata on the video that was shot by someone, a female, in the crowd. I then touch the little square. I go to my video shop. It exports it into the video shop, that file, prepares it, boom. I will edit stuff. I'll go in, if I want to do a finger, I'll add the text. If I want to slow it down, I'll tell it what I want to slow down. Like just basically trying to illustrate the point that I'm trying to show, because there's so many things happening really, really fast. And that is the only way for people to see what's going on, is to slow it down and also like zoom in. There's no other way to do it, because things are happening very, very quickly. And unfortunately, because of what Turning Point and Terrell Farnsworth have done with the tampering of the evidence, stealing the SD cards and all that, like this is what we're, well, aside from what Candace has on the video from behind, this is all we have, okay? So I'll go in after I'm done editing it, and this is where my phone defaults on exporting it 4K, and you can go in and do, it has a recommended. Sometimes it'll be 60, sometimes it'll be 30. So you go in, and I don't even look at that. I just export it immediately, and whatever like the app was recommending is what I do, okay? So for this demonstration, I'm going to show y'all, I'm exporting it now. Now I'm going to go back into the video, and I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to change it to 1080 in 30. And I'm going to export it. And it saves it to the camera roll, okay? That is a really quick version of what I have done this entire time on showcasing things on my page, okay? If you don't believe me, go and look. I have my videos, the ones that I was not threatened to take down. They're all still there. This is how the magic works, y'all, okay? There's not anything nefarious on moving frames, moving pixels, none of that. All of that mumbo jumbo that Jason was talking about with some highly sophisticated user, blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all, I'm not it. I am not what he's describing. He's describing himself, okay? This is how I do it, because it's the simplest. I'm just sitting there on my phone, okay? So what are they trying to say? I really don't know. Because remember, the question that Barron should have asked is, okay, Bednarz has a 4K 60 frame. What are you alleging that's manipulated on his video? Like, you've got some bugs that are out there. You've got, like, he's got, he put in a magic bullet, a pretend bullet. Jason's big on this, like, bow and arrow thing, or at least he was at some time. He's, you know, like, you can see the bow and arrow that was used. Like, what is being alleged? What? So here it is. You know how I showed y'all two videos right there on exporting, a 4K and a 1080p. So up here, this top one is the 4K. This middle one is the exported 1080p 30 frame. And then this bottom one is the actual original. I stacked them on a collage app and I exported it. Are you ready to see?
Yes, is that fair to say? All right, great. So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last?
I'm going to fast forward it. Do y'all see any differences?
You good? Yeah. Good. He left. He was right here.
What's changed? What do y'all see? Y'all see
This is real.
imaginary
Right.
bullets like that? Like
This is
what has changed?
Go water.
Nothing. You know what does change is what happens with the bullshit that happened back in mid-September when Zeb first gets a hold of this, and all of a sudden we got missing frames. When you have missing frames, you start missing out on the thing flying away from Charlie. And you're able to put it out on a live stream and talk about it like you know what you're talking about and have people confused that, oh, he's shot from behind. That's what happens then. The thought has never even originated in my mind to ever delete frames. I have never manipulated anything, pixels, audio on any of my video. Number one, I don't know how. Okay? But what Jason is saying is flat out bullshit. And it's time that people start standing up for what's right and calling him out and standing up to him. I don't know why everyone is so afraid of him, unless he's somebody that I don't know who he is. And even at that, fuck you. Sorry. I get, like, y'all have no idea what I've been through, okay? I'll show you. I'll show you. It's time people start standing up and saying, dude, what you're doing to him is wrong. I've seen all of his stuff. For you to go psycho and start posting all these mugshots and trying to be like he's some serial criminal and we shouldn't believe him, that is flat out wrong. And every single one of you people that have his ear, that have him on your shows and all this, I have zero respect for any of y'all. I would stand up for someone when I can see through this stuff that's happening. None of y'all have a backbone. None of y'all do. I'll put this out because this right here is what I really wish I would have seen when I first got on the scene back September the 10th, 11th. Like, here's how it happened, okay? I'm sitting in my hot tub on September the 10th that night, and I had November 1098 Lima alerted on my phone. Okay, let me see if it's taken off here within the last, and I can show y'all exactly. No, I have Flight Radar 24, okay? And I have friends, their planes, other planes. I have a general emergency alert if anything goes into where they're squawking at 77. Like, I will go in, or I get alerted, so you can kind of see what's going on. Well, I have always noticed November 1098 Lima because it flies into Lubbock, and it's always been strange because I've seen it out there. It's this beautiful white Bombardier business jet that's got people in camo flying it, okay? It's right there at the FBO where you pull in to go to your hangar. I've seen it. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, why is it always here? You know, and it does. Like, it's in Lubbock often. I'm sitting in my hot tub that night and I'm going through my notifications. And sure enough, I touch where the plane was and it's got a weird loop. And I zoom in and bam, there is this jet that's got military guys that pilot it doing a loop over the news of the day in Utah, right over it. And my wheels start spinning. I'm like, wow. I've got another notification. Touch it. It's like the same flight path. And I'm like, hold on. Y'all, I wish you could have seen me because I'm like, twice. Like it made zero sense to me. And from there, it started this where I am now mega curious. Not only am I watching video, downloading whatever's coming out, like I'm now curious of what this jet is doing, because to me, there is zero reason for this behavior given what we just witnessed a few hours before. Okay. I reach out to pretty much every single big name there is. And if you're a big name watching this and you've never talked to me, go and just touch the messages on X with my name. And chances are you're going to see me trying to get a hold of you. Okay. I made a video to Candace because I was all about like, oh my God, I've got to get this to Candace. Like, she's like, I mean, she's got this team of computer experts and people that are going to be on this. Like, I'm sitting here trying to get this information out and no one's paying attention to me. And that is when at the very, very beginning, I'm like, okay, I'll make a video myself. And I did. And it is, it's on my page. It is, well, I've got this pulled up. It took me 6 hours to make, and it's where I'm going in and explaining all the weird stuff. Okay. And yes, this was my very first video. Well, all of a sudden, I start seeing, well, this guy named John Cullen and Jason, like they stole my video. It shows up on one of their pages. I guess it was John's. Okay. And it's my voice, my video, and they're posting it like it's theirs and it's their idea. And I just kind of give a comment. I'm like, I told them, like, hey, y'all stole my video. That is where this comes into play, because I had no idea who I was dealing with. I had no idea who Jason Goodman was. I had no idea who John Cullen was. I had no idea who Baron Coleman was. I had no idea. The only person I knew about was like Candace Owens. Okay. And George Webb, had no idea. I haven't run in any of these circles with Vegas, with Butler. I mean, none of that. Okay. I didn't know who these boomers were. No clue. If I would have known then what I would have known now, I mean, I wouldn't have even given them the time of day. But all of a sudden, because I comment like, hey, asshole, you stole my video. It took me a long time to, make that. You could at least just have reposted it instead of downloading it and making it like it's your own so you can get 500,000 views. But that's cool. Thanks, asshole. See ya. Something like that. And you know what? The same thing that he's messed up about, I mean, he goes into these rants all the time about such and such stole my work and this, and John Cole. Like, this is the whole reason he says him and John Cullen aren't together, is because Colin was making $20,000 like a week or $20,000 a month. I think it was a month. That's probably Candace making 20,000. No, she's making more than that, way more. So my whole point is that was the first interaction. Then it got into the drones, and I'll be damned. I mean, like the last thing that I would have never touched the drones if I would have known Jason Goodman was the godfather of the drone theory. Okay. I would have never, ever touched it. But, and look, he missed drones. He missed drones. And yes, if he's going to say that ChatGPT, he thinks I loaded 10,000 frames. No, I never loaded 10,000 frames. Never even once. I picked out the frames off of like right here on my Facebook page here. Share. Basically, like this is Mikey McCoy's video. And there is a drone that is spotted flying right over Charlie during all of this. Like, Jason didn't post any of this stuff. He didn't have this drone here. It's right there. And then it flew right over. So my point is this. Like, the drones were very weird. There's things flying around. Yes, there are some bugs. There's some insects. He literally went so over the top on trying to, and I guess it was just sheer jealousy, because he was jealous that Redacted, I didn't know who the hell these people were. Apparently the dude used to work for CNN. I don't know. I didn't know who the hell they were. I was just being invited on, and they just wanted probably another, just a normal citizen journalist that was out there pouring a lot of work into the investigation. But when Jason gets a hold of this, of course, he's going to go to the absolute extreme, because it's not him that's being talked about. And he's going to just go ballistic on it. And that's exactly what happened. He'll go in and he'll tweet like, why is such and such, I forget their names. Why are they having this, liar on their show, making them feel bad? Because they're like, they see Jason Goodman, and I guess they hold stock in what he thinks and his tweets. And they're like, damn, he's actually kind of damaging our brand, because he's sitting here calling into question our judgment on having this citizen journalist on, when in fact, Jason in his mind's like, it needs to be me. I'm the drone guy. Okay. And I let it go. I mean, whether there's a bird that's there that's mistaken as a drone, or there's drones, there were drones flying around that day. Okay. Like, you win, dude. There were drones. So that was just another instance where I guess he figured things out, it was, I'm on the radar, and he has to do everything possible to, it wasn't to the level of obsession that it is now. That took off on October the 8th. So let's get into that. Okay. We'll pull up the actual video is this one right here. Let me remove this. Okay, so this right here is the actual video. Can y'all see the... Nope, y'all can't see it. Maybe you can. Nope. This, I clicked the little info tab, and it shows the metadata. It's Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max, 1920 by 1080p. This video, 211.9 megabytes. This video is what was sent to me after the debate with Owen Schroyer, Chris Martenson, and Jason. Okay. And what it is this video right here.
Once again, explain to the doctor what he does not understand. There are two different parameters. There is the frame rate, which I'm saying is 240 frames per second. It's a standard frame rate in an iPhone 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, any of those 16, 17, they can all
I
do
said shutter speed
240
very
frames per
clearly.
second.
Okay. So
Yes, but
you
the
stick to it.
exposure time, the shutter speed, as it were, is a separate setting. And that can be independently adjusted from the frame rate. I did this video to educate Gary Melton because he also doesn't understand this concept. You can see that I'm adjusting the shutter speed here on the right. And this is an iPhone 15 or 16
You
Pro.
see how dark it is? You see how dark it's getting?
I'm inside a
that?
room, Chris. Let me finish, please. This is inside a room at night, not outside on a sunny day. And I'm not saying it was 1/50,000th of a second. I said it was about 1/15,000th or 1/20,000th of a second. Somewhere between 1/10,000th and 1/20,000th of a second. Go look at the metadata in your iPhone on a very sunny day. You'll see it's not uncommon for it to automatically go to.
So the main crux of the argument at this point, the date is October the 7th. And Jason Goodman has this image, not a video, an image with three things that he's calling a bullet he is saying is being fired directed towards Charlie. Okay? Okay. When this debate was over, and I had no idea that this debate was even taking place, but when this debate was over, I get this message from somebody on October the 8th. Hi, Blake. Are you friends with Chris Martenson, and is there a way for you to get in touch with him? I said, yes, I can get in direct with Chris. What's going on? Something is very wrong, and I'm actually scared. Here's what happened. I had begun to keep up with popular accounts on social media. They were talking about Charlie Kirk since the 10th, and because I had video from that day. One of those accounts was Zeb Boykin. So I sent him a message in X, asked him if he wanted it because there are things that I cannot explain that are happening. He said, of course. And I sent the original clip over in a transfer. This was on September 14th. I said, what do you mean you can't explain that are happening? Something exploded. I can see it shooting away from his body towards the back of the tent. There's also a strange smoke ring shooting outward from the tent. All recorded on my iPhone. I said, oh my gosh, can I have the video that you sent to Zeb? He said, hang on, there's way more. A few days later, I get a phone call from Jason Goodman. How he got my number, I do not know because I didn't even give it to Zeb. I am instantly attacked with a barrage of questions. It is the most uncomfortable I've ever been. I even started to cry. In my mind, I just witnessed this awful event, and now I'm being picked to pieces over a video I recorded. He tried to convince me that what I recorded didn't actually happen and said that I needed to delete it and move on. He said it so ominously, I genuinely considered it. His last question was who else did I give it to, and said that I could be charged with a crime for distributing fraudulent video, and said that he will be keeping tabs on if my video is distributed. Well, then I saw Zeb and Jason know each other and did a show together, and that my video was on the show. But the video was not played correctly, and it was deliberately and selectively edited. They didn't really get into the thing shooting away from Charlie, and they actually said it was a bullet moving towards Charlie. I've never been more bothered in my entire life. They didn't even show the rings radiating upward. They just showed the flash in the window and said it was a muzzle flash, but it's not. It's way more. Even though I don't agree with Chris that he was shot, he needs to have the actual video to see what is happening with the projectile flying away from Charlie. Jason is 100% trying to keep me from speaking about this, and I haven't so far. Told I'm watching the stream right now. This one right here that I'm about to show y'all. And this is the first time that I'd really ever seen Jason's three object. Like, I had no idea he was pushing that because he's been blocked. Like, I had him blocked ever since the whole drone thing, because I just don't even want him popping up on my feed. So I had no idea that he's pushing this like screenshot. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, why are you, like, immediately I'm like, why are you doing this when you have video? Like, why are you going through the extra, like, all of this extra stuff when there's video? Like, it makes no sense to me, because you had to have had video to get those 3 frames to begin with. And all he did was take 3 frames and then stack them into one image, and then he gets to control what's happening. Sound familiar? He's just going to put out a photo, and then he's going to say what you need to know about it, and then he's going to just leave it at that. That is so freaking messed up, y'all. My video's 2 minutes, 40 seconds when played uninterrupted. Why won't they play the full video? I'm terrified. I never want to speak about this. There's strange numbers calling me. I feel like I'm being watched. Please put the video out to the public. I have nothing to do with this other than the phone recorded it. So the video needs to be the one talking. Please promise me this. What's your email? Gave my email, and I've sent it to Chris. Do you have any other videos? No. And she's praying for me. Okay. And I told her I'm praying for her. I immediately text Chris or message Chris. There's a reason Jason didn't play this video of his bullet. It's because the direction of travel is away from Charlie. He's deliberately doing this. I show the actual picture from the debate, and I said a still photo makes it look like a bullet moving towards Charlie, but it's actually moving away. Chris says, like deliberately poisoning the well. I'll check into this. Sent them the file. So before you heard Tyler Young's name being brought up, because yes, Tyler was, I think, crazy enough to think that he's going to go in and debate Jason to get the bounty, because I know I've got now the original. I just saw it, and sure enough, like, this video is crystal freaking clear. And I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense why this is all, like, why he felt like he needed to do a screenshot or a still JPEG that stacked the image. So I am visiting with Tyler, and Tyler he's way smarter than me with measuring stuff. And he's basically got it going at 163. He's like, not a bullet. It's not yet it's shrapnel. It's not a bullet. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is exactly like something is flying off and shooting behind Charlie. Okay. All the videos up until then, because remember, this is on October the 7th. Okay. That they're doing this debate. There has been a campaign. So Chris says, thanks so much. We've got to dispense the bullshit theories as fast as possible. Yes, confirm this. And Chris tells me, yes, I've confirmed this. And I ask him if he wants to see the UVU review video as well. And he tells me that he thinks he has it. I'm like, great. Because I put it out immediately. I sent it to Candace, all of that. Okay. And Chris puts out a scathing video. Absolute, like, scathing video, and we'll play it because it needs to be played, because what Jason did was wrong. What Jason did was absolutely wrong by deliberately not showing the video and just going in with this stacked image of what he gets to then dictate he's seeing, or he wants us to think we see. Okay. So give me 1 second. There it is.
That allegedly struck Charlie Kirk in the back of the head. It is fatally flawed, this analysis. Now, I was just on with Owen Schroyer, and there was a so-called debate between Jason Goodman and myself, and you can see he put in his magic 3 bullets here that are coming forward, and he says, quote, the article was not written by me. It's a factual assessment written by ChatGPT, and based on the debate transcript, I do not believe AI would be biased in favor of me over Chris Martinson or vice versa. So blah, blah, blah. It says that, guess what? Magically, how he prompted ChatGPT said he won the so-called debate. Now, I'm just bringing data. That's all I ever do.
So that is Jason basically spiking the football on Chris, because Chris is not, like, they're not playing by fair rules, okay? Like, Chris had nothing to respond because Chris doesn't have this video, okay? So Jason is spiking the football on Chris. This is October the 8th.
This is an analysis, actually, that I'm going to credit the person who gave it to me, and that's Blake Bednarz, because I got a DM, and I'll cover that in more detail in just a second. But this is the actual video that Jason Goodman was working from. I happen to have the full high-res downloaded version of it. So I'm going to call this frame 1. This is before Charlie has been shot, okay? And there's no... Goodman also said in a low velocity, and it's such incontrovertible proof that I'm going to say that Jason Goodman also said in the joint interview with Owen Schroyer, he said that he has set aside $1,781 crowdsourced monies to purchase and integrate the first verified submission that, in his sole professional judgment, we'll see where that lies, empirically refutes the stated hypothesis. And that hypothesis is, again, that a bullet was shot from behind. He's captured it somehow magically on this video frames, which is very hard to do, if not impossible. And that he had irrefutable proof that he was shot from behind. Well, sorry, let me take myself out of this. So, Mr. Goodman, please contact Blake to arrange for the reward money, $1,781, to be sent to Blake. Blake, please let me know when you receive that, because I like to know who we're dealing with and whether we're dealing with people of integrity or not. So let me just step out of frame here for a second. And so here is frame 1. Here's frame things that are flawed. What you do when you find out you've made such a fundamental error like this is you apologize and you go back on these programs if they'll have you on, and you retract what you said. And you explain, let me explain a good apology too, because this deserves an apology. 1, you say you're very sorry and you atone for any mistakes that were made. I'm sorry that I misled people. I'm sorry that people went down the wrong trail. I'm sorry that people were, wasted time going down a dead end. 2, you explain how you're going to atone for that in some meaningful way. In this case, you give that money to Blake Bednarz. 3, you have to explain how it's not going to happen again, how you are not going to make such a fundamental error again. Otherwise, you don't really have a role as an analyst that somebody's going to listen to. But that's how I roll. And if it was me, Blake, you'd already have the money. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. That's all for now.
My fate was sealed right there in this video that Chris put out, because at this point, hell hath no fury like Jason Goodman scorn. This right here did it. This video, and I encourage you all to watch this debate. I'll put all of these links. I want you all to see exactly what was manipulated in this debate, because it's inexcusable. This was October the 9th at 1:55 p.m. 1 second.
one of
I'm
the
going to
biggest
show y'all what ensued. This is just a sample on the tail end of all of the voicemails that I have gotten. But my phone started blowing up at my office, and I had no idea, like, that, number one, that this video had just dropped. So at 1:55, Chris drops this video. At 2:49, I start getting this.
Can I speak with Blake, please?
Yeah, let me double check that he's in his office. And can I get your name?
It's Jason Goodman.
Jason, what's going on, just so I can let him know?
He'll know.
Okay, give me 1 second. Jason, you still there?
Yeah.
So sorry about that. He's in a Zoom meeting right now. Is it okay if I get a number to have him call you back when he's done?
Sure. When do you think that'll be?
I am not sure. Maybe an hour, hour and a half?
I'll try back then.
All right, will do.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Maddie. How are you? Is Blake available?
310.
Good. I was just letting you know that he is wanting you to reach out to him on his cell phone. He currently had to step out of the office.
Sure. What's the number of the cell phone?
It is.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Sandra. It's Jason Goodman. Did you intend for me to call Blake sort of right now? Because I've tried him 3 times and he's not answering.
Sorry, sir. I didn't pick up earlier. What's this in regard to?
Oh, the other woman answering the phone called me back and gave me Blake's cell phone number and said to call him. And I've tried him and he's not answering.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Goodman,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Have you tried to email Blake?
Well,
Have you
I was
attempted
just
to
told to
email?
call him. I was just told to call him on his cell phone.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
no longer?
Okay. I would suggest emailing him. I bet he'll.
What? Well, I was told to call him. Why is that no longer?
I'm sorry, sir.
What he
I'm not
wants
the one
me to
that-
do?
I didn't answer the phone earlier, so I really don't know. But I would attempt to email him, see if he can get a hold of him that way.
I'd prefer to call him. Is there a reason
Okay.
why he won't answer the phone?
I have no idea. Let me find out.
My
see if
poor
I can find out
staff.
Yeah.
some information for you.
Thanks.
Hang on.
Sure.
Okay, hang on 1 second, sir.
Thanks. Blake, it's Jason Goodman. Call me back, please.
These are the
347
voicemails.
201. Thanks. Blake, it's Jason Goodman. Your receptionist told me to call you on your cell phone. So I'm doing that. She didn't give me a specific time. I thought she meant to call you now. Call me back, please. 347 201. It's Jason Goodman. 347 17. Thanks.
So I then, because he's absolutely relentless and he's not going to stop calling, I visit with him for 12 minutes and some odd minutes. And this is the video that ends up as a post. And he puts me through, I now know, he puts me through exactly what another person went through, and then another person. So I had no idea. And this was my one and only time to ever talk to Jason Goodman, because this is the most deceitful, disgusting, dirty thing you can do, is go in after, and his whole idea was, or his whole pretense to, harass me is because Chris told him to. Chris told me to do this. Chris told me that you deserve the money. So I'm going to call you and give you teetotal hell. Because guess what? I remember you from the drones. I remember you from the ISR jet. I remember you. Then
Still trying to get in contact with you.
I start getting
Talk
these
to me at the office, so now I have to call your
on my cell phone at night.
and I'll call your wife's phone, and I'll call your son's phone until you talk to me. You need to delete your posts. You need to take down all information like it never existed, or I will take you away like you never. Blake Bednarz, pick up the phone so we can talk. I have all day and all night to dial you. You want to cry about my little picture I posted of you and your family? Answer your fucking phone! It's not a game, dude. Answer the phone, you little bitch. Mr. Bednarz, are you sleeping? How dare you dis- Blake, you don't.
That's just like different edit. We're not going to sit here and listen to all of them. That's just like 10% of the voicemails that I get. They all started after he blows me up on the 9th. And then they'll do like waves. And yes, you can go in. So Jason goes in and posts this picture here on the 10th, talking about everybody needs to be suspicious of me because the church we go to is Turning Point. We go to Turning Point Community Church. It has nothing to do with Turning Point USA. It's just the name. You can go in on Jason's profile and you can get this URL and you can find everybody in my family. You can find people that like the post. You can find my wife's name, my son's name. You can find everything. And Jason did not care at all. He knew what he was doing by leaving the URL so that my family would be absolutely inundated and harassed. I had people calling, like I'm part of a company, my cell phone. Because they're all associated together, I guess through their white pages or whatever they use to look up. So they were just calling all the numbers associated with my cell phone. Like that's the level of sickness and just evil that this stooped to. So I would ask Barron, is it really just about frames? Is it really just about frames? I have no idea how scared my wife, everybody's been over me just posting videos. I don't even do commentary. I don't even go in and do these crazy comments. I just post videos of what's going on, like what I'm seeing, I don't. No one has stuck up for me. All I hear about is, I like Jason's work. We're going to have him on, this, and this. Like, basically endorsing this behavior. Because if you're not getting reprimanded, if you're not being told, hey, dude, you suck, you think it's okay. Why is that? It's an endorsement. You're non-spoken whatever. And go look at everywhere Jason's been. He goes on Trigger Smart. He goes on Redacted. He goes on Barron. He goes on all of these shows. And are you hearing anybody speak out like, hey, dude, like you need to chill out? Because we all follow Blake. You you're like, this is way beyond. Not a single one of them has done that. It's their endorsement. They endorse it. My channel has been monetized. I have maybe made $1,200 over all of this time. Maybe. It is not worth this insanity that I'm having to put up with somebody trying to destroy me. And I don't know if they're trying to kill me or get after my family, my wife, my son. I'm going to end it with the beginning. That should tie everything together. Like I said, this is going to be I'll show this video here. This is a spoof. You want to tell me that this guy doesn't have the ability?
Presented frames out of order to deceive the
So this was Jason's response to the scathing report that Chris puts out. And it looks just like, except it's a douchebag's investigation.
Marty Christensen with Weak Prosperity, here to tell you about what Chris Martenson doesn't know. Now, everybody knows I'm a dick. But the other day I made a video replete with defamatory and outright false statements. That video claimed that Jason deliberately presented frames out of order to deceive the public. But
you want to tell me that Jason doesn't have the ability to do like AI shit and go, this is insane. All right. So back to the beginning, and I'm going to leave it here, and then we will pick up because the question is, when did everybody get the 2-minute and 40-second video? When? Come on. Oh, are you kidding me? There better not be videos being taken down. Holy smokes. Hang on one second. The bookmark is not, I really hope there's not videos being taken down in real time. I don't think so. Okay. All right, so here we are on September 17th. So keep in mind, October the 8th is when I get a hold of the original iPhone Pro Max, this iPhone 16, okay? Watch all of this. Or not all of it, I'm gonna play just the part of it. This is September the 17th, 1 week after Charlie's assassinated.
I had the pleasure of meeting him in South Carolina sometime, kind of the aftermath.
It was just
all doing this tax
on y'all's end. But second of all, we can run through, if you want to run through some of what I did a second ago. That way it's on your stream. Going to present is on the back end. Yeah, going to present is just. Second of all, we can run through, if you want to run through.
To be the focus. So I just felt like, because I've seen the attacks that you've come under, and I'm saying, guys, we're all coming from the right place here. We just want to know what happened.
Yeah, real quick, I don't know if y'all could turn audio up on y'all's end, but that would be fantastic, just a little bit.
I just boosted. Yeah, I just boosted it a little bit. Hope that helps.
All right, it might have helped a little bit. But yeah, we are having a conversation. We're trying to figure things out. I may be wrong on one or two things. I may be wrong on a few, but I don't think I'm wrong overall. And like I said, I'm perfectly willing to accept any type of retort that's coming. I just try to make it make sense. First of all. Second of all, we can run through, if you want to run through some of what I did a second ago. That way it's on your stream and we all have it moving forward.
Sure. I was going to pull up your X account, but if you want to do that, if you want to go find his X account or his YouTube channel where he did the viral video breakdown, it's a very excellent breakdown. It's very sober too. It's very sober. It's very well-rounded. And that's why I think it's a very important watch. And for me, I was already kind of leaning in a lot of the same directions that you were leaning, but then your coverage was able to give me a little more clarity. And then there's actually something I noticed that I think that you didn't, that I'd like to present to you. But why don't you get into your latest?
Yeah, so we'll jump into the latest. My chat can't really hear you, which is fine. I mean, they can turn it up if they need to, but I guess what I'm going to present is just is going to be fine. Could you possibly give me full screen on your end?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. There you go. You're full screen.
Okay. All right. It's going to be backwards on, but it's fine. Excuse me. So what I have is, this is one of the high definition angles that somebody sent me. And
so you just got this. This is a better high definition angle that you just got.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's too good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is the best. This is the best, most clear video we're going to get, I think, from this angle.
And because
okay, this is what he's calling the best original high def. Okay, he has this video. Once again, as you can see down here in the bottom, he's got all sorts of stuff strung together in this video. He's got some of Adam Bartholomew. He's got some stills. They're all strung together in the bottom where you're not looking at the original. You're not looking at it like he just clicked on the file and it is the actual, you can see that's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. No, it is, he dumped it into that timeline, and from there, we have no idea what happens to the file because it's strung in this little spot, this little placeholder between another, I think maybe Cub Keller, then he's got Adam Bartholomew. That is not how these files come to us. They come in the actual time increment. No one's calling any of that out, okay? Because yes, it looked super clear, but then what happened to it? That file is 2 minutes and 41 seconds long. Go back right now, everyone, and look at Zeb's page and tell me if you see him put out the 2 minute and 41 second file. You're not. Why? Why did no one put out this video? It's just sitting on people's desktops. Does it not sound familiar about Candace? Candace is the only one that's got the video that she has from Terrell showing all of this in the back. Jason, why did you not demand? You had Barron and all of his audience, and Barron has Candace's ear. Candace has a video that could prove you are correct. Did you once ask for that video to be put out? No. Why? Because you like everything kind of being left open in the air and you still get your argument and you can't move on, or you don't want to be proven wrong? Like, why did you not ask? You know Candace is watching. Why did you not ask for that video? Because it is in direct contradiction to what Barron, myself, a lot of us believe. You're the only one that's really pushing the steal shot from behind. Is it because you don't want the video out? Because then you're going to have to force, number one, you're wrong. And then number two, like, oh my gosh, I've got to go I've actually got to kind of probably agree with Barron. Why is that? Imagine if you just leaned into Candace a 16th what you've leaned into me and given me and my family. You don't like mistakes or anything? How many times has Candace messed up on a Zulu time? She got a name wrong the other day. Somebody in Tennessee or somewhere that it was actually the wrong guy's name. I mean, people are human. Why do I deserve everything you've done? Like, what have I done to deserve everything you've done to me? Doxing my family, all of this stuff. Why? So you just heard it right there on Zeb talking to Owen. Okay. Then next day, wow, Zeb and Jason are on a stream together. This is September the 18th. I wish at 8:43 I was doing investigation stuff, but I'm actually working at my job. I really envy you guys that
is a little unusual.
Can do this full time.
Glad to be here, man. Getting a ton of messages. I know I've reached out to a couple of people. Try to respond to everyone. Right. I want to take as much criticism as. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then we can just move on from there. But
right.
So far, here we are.
Yeah. And I mean, before we get to any questions about what's right or what's wrong, I just want to say you and I have only become acquainted over the past 2 or 3 days, but it's a result of what I think is incredible work that you've been doing. For anybody that hasn't seen you, they can follow you on X.
I don't even recognize this
Zeb
politeness.
Boykin,
Who is this person
you've
talking?
got a lot of posts going
There's
on.
literally split
on
personalities.
There. People can also follow your excellent
Who is
YouTube
this guy that's
channel,
being so nice to
Outside the Overton. And you've basically been going through video evidence and ballistic evidence from the Charlie Kirk assassination, like so many people, just trying to find the right answers. And I appreciate you leading by saying if you're wrong, you're open to being corrected. And that's the way to do it. I just think you're doing great work. And before we get into what you've found, just give everybody a little background on you so they can understand where your expertise comes from.
And that just wasn't me. So I started a couple of businesses, sold those, and I've been doing essentially head to kind of move forward. So I'm gonna try and keep leaning into that as we move forward, and hopefully everybody that's found me since the ballistics video will appreciate everything else that comes from this. I mean, it's the same application, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you're gonna
this video to technology and about your approach is that you've got. And by the way, I wouldn't minimize any of that experience that you've just shared with us. That's a lot of education, a lot of hands-on experience with a lot of equipment and tactics. And, okay, you haven't been in country, so there's other people that have other experience that you don't have. But in addition to all of your firearms and military and Marine Corps experience, you've got a great deal of expertise in video production and technology, and you are very meticulous in your approach to evidence. And I appreciate that because we see so many people who are reposting these decimated and thrice transcoded junky videos that really cannot be relied upon. And you, just yesterday, I think, have gone to, correct me if I'm wrong, you've gone to the original uploader, the person who recorded this video on their phone, and you've obtained the original file. Is that correct?
Yeah, so somebody sent me that. I don't have the name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I've been getting inundated with insane amount of messages, which is, I appreciate, but much of it is extremely repetitive. But yeah, so I got this original video, and I want to kind of mention what you just mentioned a second ago. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified for this. I'm not trying to minimize the credibility necessarily. I just want the evidence to kind of speak for itself, and that's kind of where I wanted to take that, not necessarily minimizing it. But yeah, the video aspect,
I don't even know what that means.
Along with the ballistics aspect and having the ability to stream, podcast, record, explain this stuff is a crossroads at which I mean there's a few people that could do it.
that haven't really, and I'm not sure why they haven't, but maybe there's good reason for it. But yeah, I do feel like I'm relatively uniquely qualified to do it, and I'm trying to come at this with as much open mind as I can.
Yeah. And so the thing that happened when you, and by the way, I'm not just trying to be some kind of annoying stickler when I tell people get the original videos. It's critically important from several standpoints. First of all, look, we're not the cops, but we do want to be aware of the chain of custody of this evidence, because sometimes, whether it's, let's just call it inadvertent, because I'm not going to accuse anybody of malicious conduct without direct evidence of that. But when people upload these videos, they add text, they add their tags, it changes things about what we're looking at that can cause false positives. It can cause people, people are looking at every little dot in a low bit rate cropped video that we just don't know who has done what to it. This is why it is important to go to these original videos. And also in this higher bitrate original acquisition footage,
did you hear
you're
that?
going to see details that you're not going to see in these other.
Okay, Jason Goodman is not saying this from a point or position of not having this video. Do y'all understand that? He has this video. They're not like Jason's learning this on the fly. This is all stuff that's been talked about. He says a few days they've been talking. This video is done on the 18th. That would put Jason involved in this. He says 2 or 3 days, 17th, 16th, or 15th. So we had the original file from the videoer, okay? And then all of a sudden, we've got somebody that's got a now 20 frame video that gets talked about that's about to be talked about in a week. Do y'all not see what's happening here? They have the original. They don't show the whole thing. They don't put it out, okay? And then all of a sudden, on the 24th, these two guys are going to link up again, and we've got take 2. And all of a sudden, we've got missing frames. All of a sudden, and I understand it's getting late. That's why we're going to break this up. So let me just show y'all. So we're going to go to the 24th.
You can get it down to 20. So I'd seen you after you did your great.
Which is a problem.
Charlie, let's just get through this, because I know you don't have a lot of time. And I want to start, first of all, by apologizing and explaining to everybody. Zeb and I connected last week, and Zeb had done a video where he was analyzing a full resolution 1920 1080 clip. I had seen you after you did your great viral video.
Did you hear what he said? He's describing the original.
Owen could tell. He said, "Oh wow, this looks higher resolution than any other clip that I had seen." And you thought it was the original file. I thought it was the original file.
He doesn't make mistakes. He knew it was the original file.
Faith here, but we got so many people coming at us. It becomes a question of, where are these files coming from? And a lot of people who don't use their real names and all that kind of thing. So the file that we are talking about was this profile view of Charlie, where it's just as he is shot. Sorry, let me get this on screen here. And look, this is not a problem. This is the process. We're going through and we're figuring out.
He looks like a real sophisticated user, doesn't he?
That's exactly what this is for. I mean, we're kind of putting it out. I mean, like I said, it's full resolution. It's missing essentially 10 frames per
now
second.
It's missing frames.
Which is a problem.
Hang on. This is the part I want to address. Okay. It's not that it's missing them. So here's what we want to talk about. This is the video right here. And you sent this to me, and it wouldn't open immediately in QuickTime Player, which was the first bit of strangeness that I encountered. So I said, well, okay.
He's trying to introduce all these
Adobe Premiere anyway,
things that are now not making sense about it.
Sort of why that was. So what I figured out is it's an MPEG transport stream, which is unusual, but I was able to open it in VLC. And I don't know if you can see this information dialog box
I can't
here.
read any of that.
Okay,
It's
so
fine,
it says
go ahead.
frame rate 19.949236 frames per second. And that is a super unusual frame rate. And
This is what he was talking about at the beginning of this show with Barron about someone sophisticated that they're the only ones that would be able to pull this off on reduction of 10 frames. Isn't it kind of strange, y'all? All of a sudden on September 24th, we now have this problem that they've had the video for well over a week. Y'all, it's right here. It's right here. We're going to go through every single thing. I've already got them downloaded. They can't go in and start deleting and stuff. We're going to expose exactly what happened because I'm telling y'all right now, no one put out this 2-minute and 41-second video that they all are admitting has a shitload of stuff happening. The thing above the tent, we've got shrapnel stuff. We've got, and they're all, you want to talk about manipulating video. You want to talk about manipulating video. Let me see if this is the actual video where they actually lay in a, or not they, but Zeb, right? It might be on that other video. Yeah, like where Zeb will lay in a still shot of the video here to try and create an extended angle because they're trying so desperately to show that there was a shot coming up here from where the plant thing was on the staircase over at the Fogel Gateway, okay? Or Fugel Gateway, whatever that building is called, where the Fox News correspondent Jason Chaffetz was. Like, that's manipulate. Like, my God, they're sitting here doing all these lines and stuff. That's manipulating video where you're trying to sit here. I've never even attempted to do anything like that. That's insane. This is like trying to control and push something that's not there. Okay. So once again, September 24th, I had no idea that this video even existed. I had no clue until October the 8th. None of these guys had this video. Why? That should be what everyone's asking. Why? Instead, they're attacking me, posting all of this stuff, trying to destroy and dox my life. That's made 13. They're not worth this. This is not worth it. I am not some creator that has a whole thing of videos like that. This is all they do is walk around and talk to a camera. Like, I don't want that. That's not me. Like, but why are you trying to destroy me? Who are you working for? Who is paying you? Who are you working for? This is not normal. All right. I'm going to leave it there for tonight.